Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Liam's Hobby Room. My name is Liam, this is my hobby room, and today we're taking a look at the Master Grade Rick Diaz from Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. A good friend of mine built this a few years back and was kind enough to lend it to me to work on, so that was very nice of him. He didn't have to do that. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you may remember that I find straight assembly of model kits to be kind of boring. It's not really my favorite part, and usually I just cannot wait to start surfacing, painting, weathering, whatever, all that other stuff. So this really worked out for me, and hey, my buddy Matt gets a painted kit out of it, so it's kind of a win-win El Cicerino for the two of us. So the Master Grade Rick Diaz came out in the year of our Lord, May 2004, and it still holds up today, despite Bandai's engineering improving leaps and bounds since its initial release. It's a very well-made kit. It's very nice, and with a little bit of TLC, we're gonna really make her shine. We're gonna make her shine. First off, every single time I say Rick Diaz, all I can think of is
Rick Diaz and the weekly top 40. Yeah.
Every time. Here's a little section I like to call Lore Dump. So in-universe, the Rick Diaz is a state-of-the-art mobile suit used by the Spacenoid-friendly Anti-Earth Union Group, or AUG, in their fight against a corrupt and increasingly totalitarian Earth Federation coming off the heels of the One-Year War. In the series, there were 3 Rick Diaz units, flown by Lieutenant Quattro Bagina. Yes, that is his name. And his wingmen Apoli and Roberto. Fun fact, in all but appearance, the Rick Diaz is actually a Gundam. It's a prototype mobile suit made of Gundarium alloy that was already outgunning the more impressive-looking Gundam Mark II by the start of Mobile Suit Zeta Gundam. The Mobile Suit Gundam franchise is no stranger to strange names, so the mobile suit name Rick Diaz might seem odd. And it is, but within the Universal Century canon, the prefix Rick in a mobile suit's name is reserved for Space Superiority Mobile Suits, a convention set by the Rickdom during the disastrous One-Year War. So let's take a look and see how the Master Grade
Rick Diaz
stacks up to its anime counterpart. This bulky mobile suit packs quite a bit of articulation, though it also lacks an inner frame, which is pretty standard for Master Grade kits from this era, the early 2000s. Usually I could care less about inner frames and gimmicks, though some additional reinforcement would help with the balancing issues in its torso and backpack. You may see the kit bending backwards a bit at the torso during this review. Another design choice common to kits of this era is the lack of superfluous surface detail. I actually prefer this kind of look. I find the busy panel lines from some of the more modern Master Grades and mobile suits from other series a little chaotic. This type of surface detail really lets the design of the kit and the skill of the modeler speak for themselves. It's a less is more kind of thing. Mamoru Nagano is a genius. That's what I'm into personally. If you prefer a busier look, you can always scribe your own panel lines too. Nothing's stopping you, you do whatever you like. I'm sure you've noticed a fair amount of gray discoloration around the kit, which is where my surfacer and putty were sanded down. I do this on every kit before I paint it, which helps level out the surfaces and get them ready for primer. It has the added bonus of highlighting areas which may need attention, divoted and uneven plastic or other rough patches. Something interesting about this design is that the cockpit is located in the head, which is fairly rare. Most mobile suits have their cockpits in the torso or abdomen. One of the few seam lines on this kit are on the cockpit's pod, which you can see here. There is another seam line down the center of the clay bazooka, the centers of each beam pistol, and the shoulder joint, and down each wing binder. There are more mold lines, however, on pretty much everything, so there was a lot of sanding involved in surfacing this kit. But since you'll be sanding before painting anyways, it ain't no thang. You know what else ain't no thang? Hitting that subscribe button. But I tell you what, it's a real big thang for me, and I really appreciate each and every one of you watching and subscribing to Liam's Hobby Room. So subscribe and we can go through this hobby journey together. Now you can store the accessories on the backpack. Clay bazooka rests in like this, and the 2 beam pistols plug into these little bars here, like so. And then you put the beam saber in this little clip here, and it is all armed up. Now, this part does open up, and there's supposed to be 2 little machine guns in here, but I broke them. I broke them, so they don't really sit in there perfectly. So I'm gonna have to glue those in. Articulation is pretty great. The head turns a little bit, moves up and down like so. Torso would go all the way around, but there is a bunch of armor in the way, so that's not happening. Arms go out about that far. They have an elbow wiggle. Elbow wiggle, that's kind of new. Bicep swivel like so. and the arms go all the way around. Obviously, this shoulder armor does fall off a lot, so it's probably going to have to be glued in. Wrists turn all the way around. It's got fully articulated fingers. That's really fun. I like it when kids do that, except the thumb is just on a single ball joint, so it's kind of set like this, and it moves like that. Does that make sense? What I want to do with my hands here? The side skirts move up, front skirts move up independently of one another, have some nice detail underneath. The back skirt wiggles just a little bit. Legs go up this far. Look at those huge feet, man. That's awesome. Bends about so, and a little bit more. That's kind of nice. And the ankles move quite a bit. Now in the backpack, the binders can rotate on a ball joint, and they have some in and out movement as well. That's it. That's all that moves there. The hips are on ball joints with no thigh swivel. Nada. Sometimes these joints are prone to breaking, and while it's an easy fix, it's less hassle to just prevent this kind of thing from happening in the first place. Duh. It's not rocket science. It's super easy, and I'll tell you how. The reason why ball-jointed hip parts break so often is because A, they're model kits and you should be careful with them, and B, the plastic is usually hollow in this spot. What I do when I'm building a kit with hollow hip ball joints is fill the entirety of the waist block with epoxy putty. I'd recommend something like Mr. Epoxy Putty Super Lightweight type, link in the description down below. Once this cures, it's going to strengthen those hollow sections like nobody's business, and since it's designed to be used as a filler, it's not going to affect your kit's weight or balance all that much. This is a fantastic looking model kit from a really great era in mobile suit design. It's large, it's got great big clean surfaces to show off your painting skills, and it can get into pretty much any pose the Rick Diaz could realistically be put in. This kit isn't easy to find right now, unfortunately, at the time of filming anyways, but hopefully Bandai does do a run of them soon, because I really think that this is a kit that encompasses all the basics of the Gunpla hobby and would be a good kit to learn those basics on. Basics like closing seam lines, removing mold lines, surfacing, practicing painting, that kind of stuff. I had a lot of fun getting this thing prepped for paint. I'm going to be painting this in its out-of-box or oob colors. I'll put up a painted build video when I'm all done with this kit. So we made 300 subscribers the other day. That's pretty cool. So this is a little thank you from Will here. Will says, hi, hello, thank you very much. Hopefully soon I find some more time for some tutorial videos, but until then, take care of yourselves, stay safe, tell your mom you love her, and I'll see you next time on Liam's Hobby Room.